6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines: 27 terrorists have been killed during various operations in Dera Ismail Khan. The caretaker Prime Minister says Pakistan will continue extending political, diplomatic and moral support to the people of Kashmir for their inalienable right to self-determination. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference has called the Indian Supreme Court's verdict on revocation of the special status of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir biased and one-sided. The Islamabad High Court has acquitted former Prime Minister Mohammad Nawaz Sharif in the Al Azizia steel mills reference. The Ministry of Religious Affairs has extended the date for submission of applications under the government Hajj scheme till the 22nd of this month. 30 Palestinians were martyred in the continued Israeli bombing and aggression in different areas today. Details after a break.
आज़मीन हज के लिए खुशखबरी। रेगुलर और स्पॉन्सरशिप स्कीम में दरख्वास्तें जमा करवाने की तारीख में 22 दिसंबर तक तौसी। समुंदर पार पाकिस्तानी अपने या अपने प्यारों के लिए स्पॉन्सरशिप स्कीम के जरिए डॉलर्स में अदायगी करें और पहले आइए पहले पाइए की बुनियाद पर हज के मुकद्दस सफर पर रवाना हो। हज बदल या पिछले 5 साल में हज करने वाले आज़मीन भी दरख्वास्त देने के अहल हैं। मजीद मालूमात के लिए करीबी बैंक या वजारत की वेबसाइट विजिट करें। हुकूमत पाकिस्तान।
Welcome back, and now the news in detail. 27 terrorists have been killed during various operations in Dera Ismail Khan. According to ISPR, an intelligence-based operation was conducted in the general area Darra Zinda on the reported presence of the terrorists. During the conduct of the operation, the terrorists' hideout was busted and 17 terrorists were killed. In another intelligence-based operation in the general area Kolachi, the troops effectively engaged the terrorist location and 4 terrorists were killed. However, after intense exchange of fire, 2 brave soldiers, having fought gallantly, embraced martyrdom. The killed terrorists were involved in numerous terrorist activities against the security forces and the killing of innocent civilians. Weapons, ammunition and explosives were also recovered from the operations. In the early hours today, a group of 6 terrorists attacked a security forces post in the general area Darraban. The President Dr. Arif Alvi and the caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar have strongly denounced the terrorist attack on security forces in Dera Ismail Khan. In a statement, the President said such cowardly acts cannot shake the resolve of the security personnel. He said sacrifices of the martyrs will not go in vain. The President commiserated with the bereaved families. In a separate statement, the caretaker Prime Minister said the security forces cannot be demoralized by such cowardly acts. He said the entire nation salutes the martyrs who sacrificed their lives in the war against terrorism. Commiserating with the bereaved families, the Prime Minister prayed for the departed souls. He directed to provide every possible medical treatment to those injured in the attack. The caretaker Interior Minister Sarfaraz Ahmed Bukti has also strongly condemned the terrorist attack in Dera Ismail Khan. In his message, the minister expressed deep sorrow and regret over the martyrdom of the soldiers in the terrorist attack and prayed for the high status of the martyrs. He vowed that the terrorists can never succeed in their nefarious designs and the entire nation stands with the security forces in the war against terrorism. The caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar has said Pakistan will continue extending its political, diplomatic and moral support to the people of Kashmir for their inalienable right to self-determination. He reiterated this commitment during his meeting with the Azad Kashmir Prime Minister Chaudhry Anwarul Haq in Islamabad today. Anwarul Haq Kakar said the final decision with regard to the future of the Jammu and Kashmir should be in accordance with the relevant resolutions of the United Nations Security Council and the aspirations of the Kashmiris. He said Jammu and Kashmir is an internationally recognized conflict which has been on the agenda of the UN Security Council for over 7 decades. Anwarul Haq Kakar said Pakistan unequivocally rejects the decision by the Supreme Court of India regarding the status of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He said India has no right to make unilateral decisions on the status of the disputed territory against the will of the Kashmiri people and the requirements of the international law and justice. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference leadership has called the Indian Supreme Court's verdict on the revocation of the special status of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir biased and one-sided. In their statements in Srinagar, they said the Indian judiciary has always acted as a tool to validate India's occupation over Jammu and Kashmir. They cited the death sentence to Muhammad Afzal Guru and the building of Ram Temple at the site of the demolished Babri Mosque as some examples to prove the Indian judiciary has always been validating the illegal, illegitimate and communal acts of the Indian governments. This is Radio Pakistan. The Islamabad High Court has acquitted former Prime Minister Mohammad Nawaz Sharif in the Al Azizia steel mills reference. A division bench comprising the Chief Justice Islamabad High Court, Mr. Justice Amir Farooq, and Mr. Justice Mia Gul Hassan Aurangzeb announced the decision. Nawaz Sharif had filed an appeal against his conviction in the Al Azizia reference. The Ministry of Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony has extended the date for submission of applications under the government Hajj scheme till the 22nd of this month. According to a spokesperson of the ministry, a 10-day extension has been announced on the insistence of the intending pilgrims. He further said applications are being received in the sponsorship scheme on first-come, first-served basis. He said those paying in dollars from abroad will be declared successful without balloting. The spokesperson said the 5-year moratorium on Hajj-e-Badal has also been revoked on the request of the general public. Besides, people who have performed Hajj during the last 5 years are eligible to apply for Hajj this year. He said single women will be able to perform Hajj in a group of trusted women on providing an affidavit. The caretaker Interior Minister Sarfaraz Ahmed Bukti has vowed to take firm action against those involved in hoarding of fertilizer and creating artificial shortage. Addressing a news conference along with the Information Minister Murtaza Solanki, Minister for Power Muhammad Ali and the Secretary Ministry for Industries and Production, he said the Chief Secretaries and the Inspector General's Police have been given the deadline of 24 hours to implement the administrative matters. He said there is a clear directive from the Prime Minister not to show any leniency towards such mafias. Pakistan and Ethiopia have decided to further deepen bilateral relations in different sectors. The understanding to this effect was reached during a meeting between the Federal Minister for Finance, Dr. Shamshad Akhtar, and the Ethiopian Ambassador to Pakistan, Jamal Bakar Abdullah, in Islamabad today. Jamal Bakar highlighted the initiatives taken by the Embassy of Ethiopia in Islamabad during its first year for strengthening the bilateral relations through strong regional and multilateral cooperation. At least 30 Palestinians were martyred in the continued Israeli bombing and aggression in different areas today. Palestinian medical sources said over 20 people, including 7 children and 5 women, were martyred in the Israeli forces as Israeli forces destroyed 3 homes in Rafah area of Gaza. The United Nations Security Council has condemned the violence in Warrap state of South Sudan and in southern Abyei, which has claimed dozens of lives since November. The Security Council reiterated that Abyei, a territory contested by Sudan and South Sudan, should be fully demilitarized without any delay. And now cricket. In the Asia Cup Under-19 cricket match, chasing a victory target of 304 runs against Pakistan, Pakistan beat Afghanistan by 83 runs in the Asia Cup Under 19 Cricket World Cup match in Dubai today. Batting first, Pakistan were all out for 303 runs in 48 overs. In reply, Afghanistan were all out for 220 runs in 48.4 overs. And finally, the weather report. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most plain areas of the country, while partly cloudy conditions are likely in upper districts during the next 12 hours. However, fog and smog is likely to persist in the plain areas of Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and Upper Sindh during morning and night hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.